Hello and welcome back to the Labyrinth of Grisaia. Last episode we learned about what actually happened on Yuji and Yumiko's date. Unfortunately, even though Yumiko had been meticulous about planning out so that Yumiko and Yuji could be alone, through a series of coincidences and perhaps because of Yumiko having a hard time saying no to her friends, they ended up being together with all the other students over time. Let's continue. Perhaps because it's a port city, Mishima Cape wakes up very early. By 4 AM, lines of shipping trucks are already speeding down the prefectural highway, carrying fresh marine produce and other goods to the Tokyo area. Accordingly, the early morning air is full of peculiar scent of half sea breeze, half exhaust fumes. Lifting my arms into the air, I slowly bent backward. Nothing like an early start to get your day going, right, Yumiko? As I stretch my body, I speak to the woman at my side, but strangely, no response is forthcoming. Yumiko? I can never predict when those chibi sessions are coming, and I've played through this several times. Oh god. Turning to the side, I found Yumiko crouched down on the ground, hugging her knees miserably. What's all this then? We're going on a date today. Why so gloomy right off the bat? I shake her shoulders lightly, prompting her to emit a long and heavy sigh. I get carried away. Pardon? Yes, you've been rather sweet to me lately. Yes, you invited me on another date, but why on earth did I have to wake up so early on and drag you out here like this? Ah, now I get it. She'd been bubbling over with enthusiasm until just before we left the dorm, so I was wondering why she suddenly stopped talking. Yes, that does explain it. This is exactly why everyone always makes fun of me. I'm so pathetic. And now the girl's drawing circles in the dirt with her finger. It feels like she's about to turn into a piece of ASCII art through the power of sheer misery. I honestly wouldn't mind teasing Yumiko a bit more at this point, but I think she might get legitimately angry with me. It's probably best to cheer her up instead. Good guy, Yuji. I don't see a problem. I was happy to see how excited you were. Huh? Really? Yeah, makes me glad I took the time to submit that request for leave. For the moment, I decided not to mention that JB made the process significantly more annoying by grilling me like a nosy mother-in-law. But I'm not nearly dumb enough to bring up another woman's name just as we're beginning our date together. I'm happy to hear you say that, Yuji. Fortunately, it seems like I've managed to markedly improve Yumiko's mood. Alright then, next up we have to decide how we're getting there. We're getting a very early start. Naturally, Chizuru hasn't even arrived at Mihama yet, and given that this trip's top secret, I can't go back to the dorm and borrow Amane's motorcycle. None of the usual public transportation options are running yet either. Getting up early just so we can wait around at the station for an hour would be pretty ridiculous. Also, if we waste too much time, it's pretty clear that a certain someone who just couldn't wait to start a little field trip is going to get even more depressed. Guess we can try hitching a ride from one of the trucks, or As I look up, I spot the headlights of a smaller sort of vehicle out of the corner of my eye. After zigging and sagging across the road, the car veers suddenly out of its lane and speeds directly towards us. Yuji, that car's coming right at us. Noticing the vehicle's erratic behavior, Yumiko draws close to me. What the? I thought everything was wrapped up neatly, but maybe the danger hasn't truly passed? Although I stiffen up for a moment, the car abruptly swerves away when it's about 50 meters away from us. Its tires squealing dramatically against the pavement, it slides to a halt at the side of the road. What was that all about? I wonder what happened. Are they alright? I don't know, but it's hard to imagine they'd lose control on such a high visibility stretch of road. There might be something wrong with the driver. At first I was worried someone might be after our lives, but that no longer seems like a realistic possibility. Out of concern for the driver, we decide to head over to the vehicle and take a closer look. Hey, are you alright? Alert for the possibility of a hold-up attempt, I approach the car cautiously and knock on the driver's side window. Oh, for Christ's sake! An out-of-place Kansai drawl rings out in the dry morning air. Yeah! Startled by the sudden shout from within, Yumiko jumps backward. Makes me drive all the way out of the boondocks, and when we make it here, all the place get to see you later. What the hell? Can't you at least give a guy a quickie, huh? I swear these kind of girls all, After a good bit of hooting and hollering, the blonde man in the car stops ignoring us long enough to glance in my direction. His eyes instantly go wide. Leaning out the window, he pushes his face uncomfortably close to mine. Oh, you're that fella back from way back when, aren't you? Been a while, bro. Right. For some reason, he proceeds to reach out and vigorously shake my hand. Huh? Do you know this man, Yuji? No, can't say that I do. Judging from the way he's acting, we presumably met somewhere before, but I'm honestly drawing a blank here. Ah, man, that brings me back. I didn't know what the heck you were thinking when you jumped out in the road like that. Sure didn't expect to get roped into some crazy car chase all of a sudden, I tell you what. Oh, that was you, wasn't it? Yeah, when Yuji stopped playing with a frozen turkey. The man's words finally trigger a spark of recognition. On a summer day some time ago, I was forced to chase desperately after a group of kidnappers in order to rescue Yumiko. In the course of that effort, I briefly borrowed a sports car from this blonde man in front of us. Right. How have you been? How do you think I've been, bro? You left one hell of a dent in my spider's front end and an even bigger one in my heart. Yeah, I'm very sorry about all that. As the result of some dramatic maneuvering that culminated in me hurling a frozen turkey into an airplane engine, his car did suffer fairly extensive damage. Nah, bro, it's all good. Some pretty soldier lady who said she works with you showed up later and had it fixed up good as new. I ain't holding no grudges. Oh, that a fact? Must have been JB, or maybe Qa'Rajh. The company really is thorough about cleaning up after its people. Can't help feeling a bit grateful. But anyway, stepping back a little, I take a more careful look at the vehicle in front of me. I see you're still driving some damn nice cars. The man's face breaks into an easy grin. Seems like he was waiting for me to say something. Ain't she beaut? This here's a brand new Luxus LFA. I was so happy she finally came in that I ended up driving her all the way out here. The Spider he was driving last time was an incredibly expensive car in its own right, but an LFA is definitely not something you see every day. Luxus is the ultimate luxury brand of Japan's largest car manufacturer, and the LFA is its top-of-the-line custom-order supercar. The price has to be at least 3 times that of the flagship saloon or LS models. So this is cutting-edge Japanese tech at work, huh? Looks like a real feat of precision manufacturing. Oh man, took the words right out of my mouth. You won't get this kind of attention detail from the Europeans. I hear Luxus has some pretty impressive services too. Don't they roll out a red carpet for you in the reception room when you're signing the papers? Oh, right. That made me so happy, bro. I just opened the door a little and they were going all very impressive, so it felt great, I tell you. Yeah, you've seriously got one nice ride here. The man's face glows with pride as he sings the praises of his LFA. Leaning in close to his peak of our nose, I repeat myself in a deliberate tone of voice. A very nice ride. Oh, not again. Huh? Yo! In inverse proportion to the man's fading shriek, the needle in the speedometer soars steadily upward. Oh, this feels great. It's my first time actually riding in one of these things. The acceleration's powerful enough to make my whole body tremble. And unlike the Spider, you can really tell you're controlling a massive, solid hunk of metal. It's a pretty damn good feeling. My body's definitely feeling the G-force, but the frame of the car itself stays remarkably stable. This truly is a magnificent car. Of course it is, bro. How much did you think it cost? Whatever you paid for this, it's well worth the investment. Why don't we push her a little further? With no further ado, I slam down the accelerator. The G-forces on my shoulders instantly grow even more intense. It almost feels like my hands are floating forward in space. Whoa! You're going too fast, bro! Too fast! Look at the meter, man! Come on, please! What? Please, doing the speed limit in a beast like this would be downright disrespectful. Let's kick it up a notch. As my blonde friend pressed back into his seat by the G-force, his attempted speech slurs incoherently into a high-pitched little shriek. Hey, come on, miss! You gotta say something too! Your boyfriend's off this rock, are you for real? Desperation in his eyes, he reaches out and shakes Yumiko, who's sitting quietly in the passenger seat. Oh no, she's enjoying it. Oh god, this can only end horribly wrong. However, she offers no response whatsoever. The poor kid's shell-shocked. Here we go. Last straightaway. Coming up. As I pull sharply around the corner, a long, straight stretch of road opens up before me. And once more, I push my right foot fiercely down on the accelerator. Whoa! Okay, maybe she didn't enjoy it. Look, I know I got carried away and I'm sorry. Can you try to just forgive me, Yumiko? As I offer her my earnest apologies, Yumiko responds by muttering resentfully under her breath. I said you were going too fast. I told you I was scared. Seriously, I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you. I convinced the man to give us a ride, and he even allowed me to take the wheel of his car. All well and good. But then I decided Yumiko might enjoy a pleasant little joyride. And, regrettably, that attempt at kindness seems to have completely backfired. To make matters worse, I got so entranced by the car's performance I ended up driving like something of a maniac. I haven't been behind the wheel in a while and I just got caught up in the moment. It won't happen again, okay? I really am sorry. I'm confident I wasn't putting Yumiko, or the blonde man for that matter, in any danger, but that's no excuse for scaring the living daylights out of them. It wouldn't be right to turn this one into a joke. She deserves a sincere apology. Well, I suppose you need to cut loose every once in a while, Yuji. I'm not really upset. Oh, okay. Yumiko's attitude changes so suddenly that I'm caught flat-footed. Maybe this is those Sundara lessons at work. It's probably better not to ask, though. Might end up fanning the flames of her anger. Wow. About 10 minutes after we got out of the car and started walking, we arrive at the hot spring town where we'll be spending the day. This place is one of the more popular vacation spots in Nishishu, although it's still very early in the morning. There's already a few tourists out and about. It took a while giving me another day off, so I asked around. Everyone said this is a great place to relax. You asked around? Yeah, don't worry though. I talked to my co-workers, not our classmates. I see. Good. We should be alright then. Breathing a sigh of relief, Yumiko returns to looking around the area. Almost all of the tourists on the street seem to be couples dressed in yukatas. A few of the pairs don't look that much older than us. Fixing her gaze on a young man and woman engaged in some cheerful window shopping, Yumiko murmurs a comment to no one in particular. This almost feels like a honeymoon trip. You say something? Nothing, nothing at all. I see. Thought I heard something about this feeling like a honeymoon trip. So you heard me after all? As Yumiko blushes angrily, I reach out and wrap my arms around her. Yeah! Yumiko looks up at me with bewilderment in her eyes, her face even redder than before. Oh, I can't, that face! Come on, everyone's staring, Yuji. Who cares? Let's show them how affectionate we are. Wait, that's... I strengthen my embrace and hold Yumiko still. After a moment, she stops squirming. Patting her gently, I bring my mouth to her ear. What's gotten into you? Seems she's still perplexed by the sudden hug. Might as well enlighten her. Just wanted to make sure you knew. We really are on our own here. Oh. I hear Yumiko inhale sharply. From the rhythm of her breathing, I can tell her heartbeat's growing faster. Today's just for the two of us. Let's not think about anything except each other. Alright? Okay. With a big nod, she extracts herself from my arms for the moment. In that case, I've actually got a favor to ask. If you don't mind. For some reason, her gaze seems a bit hesitant, even shy. Of course. I'll do anything you want. Right, okay then. Slipping up next to me, she takes hold of my left arm and proceeds to entwine both of hers around it, with a smile of childish delight spreading across her face. I've always wanted to walk with you like this, you know.
What? Is that all?
What do you mean, is that all? This means a great deal to me, for the record. Even as she pouts, Yumiko's voice stays bright and cheerful. I mean, it's almost like we're newlyweds. I hear her loud and clear this time, but decide to pretend otherwise. Well then, let's get going, Yuji.
Right.
Arm in arm, we set off down the road, the broad streets of the hot spring town. This looks quaint and like a really cool place to stay. Obviously, I can't read Japanese, so I don't know what's going on the signs, but the look of the town itself looks pleasing. Like, it's a good place to relax. But personally, I'm not a big fan of big tourist attractions. I'm more for the sightseeing and historical attractions and a bit more quiet. I don't mind being in a big city, but I don't go for the big attractions. So if I go to Paris, it's not for the sake of visiting the Eiffel Tower or the Louvre or anything like that. It's, for me, it's the smaller things. And, well, Paris and other cities like that is not so much for me. I don't like where there's many people around me. Gets me kind of claustrophobic. Anyway, that was me getting sidetracked. Thanks to our unusually early arrival, there aren't all that many pedestrians out yet. It's the ideal time for a leisurely stroll around the area. This place is quite large. I'm a little surprised.
Yeah, it's apparently been here forever, but they've been getting a lot of attention lately.
Yumiko seems to be enjoying the walk, but every once in a while she flinches slightly, then looks carefully around the area.
What's got you so jumpy?
Well, I can't help wondering if someone's watching us, that's all. I did my best to reassure her earlier, but it seems the girl's still a bit anxious. I'm not sure if she's just worried about her classmates, or if having men in suits stalking us for months left her a bit traumatized. Whatever the case, I don't think this nervous energy is doing her much good.
Yumiko.
What is it you know? The instant Yumiko turns to face me, I press my lips to hers. Her eyes dart self-consciously around the area, but she doesn't actually try to break the kiss. After enjoying myself fully, I finally pull away. By this point, Yumiko's eyes are full of bliss, but she still does her best to narrow them into a glare. Honestly, where did that come from?
I told you to relax, but you obviously didn't get the message. Thought that warranted a punishment.
Alright, I understand. You want me to be as bold as brass, do you?
Exactly.
Alright, I'll do that then. Craning her neck slightly, she retaliates with a kiss to my cheek.
Oh.
Naturally, her face is bright red a moment afterwards. Come on then, let's go to the next shop. With that, she begins to stomp forcefully forward, pulling me along by the arm. Rather than teasing us, everyone else in the area watches a bit nervously. Guess they can't see the intensity in her eyes.
Good grief.
Smiling wryly, I follow in the footsteps of my oddly competitive and easily embarrassed girlfriend. Wow, that's quite a lot of steam. Most of the little town's various gift shops have baskets out in front. All of them seem to be emitting impressive clouds of white steam.
Hot spring buns, eh? Yeah, they're a local specialty of sorts.
Ah, right. Amana brings these back every once in a while, doesn't she?
Yeah, I'm sure they're even better freshly made, though.
Calling over the owner of the shop, I buy us a pair of freshly steamed buns. After Yumiko takes hers, we both dig in. This is delicious! Instants later, Yumiko's face blossoms into a smile.
The freshness really does make a difference, doesn't it? I've never had one this good before.
Of course, if we let that convince us to buy some and bring them back, they probably won't taste nearly this delicious by the time we get there. These really are great. Let's buy a bunch to bring back to the dorm.
Well, Why don't we worry about that after we've looked around a bit more?
Right. Yumiko looks a bit puzzled by the way I deflected her enthusiastic suggestion. If her excitement doesn't fade, I guess it wouldn't really hurt to buy a few later. A little disappointment can add some flavor to a trip, in a way. If Matsushima-san were here, she'd probably be squawking about buying up the entire shop. What's wrong, Yuji? Is there some reason you're staring at me?
No, it's nothing important. Let's head to the next shop, shall we?
Sure. Once we get outside the hot spring ponds area, we find ourselves among the noticeably older group of tourists. Many of the things being sold here are pickled vegetables, boiled fish, and similarly salted souvenirs. Everything's a lot plainer all of a sudden.
Well, sure. Hot springs usually draw a pretty elderly crowd, you know.
I suppose you're right. Oh, these pickled vegetables look tasty. Moments after calling the food plain, Yumiko's already reaching out for a free sample. Yeah, they are picked perfectly. Why don't you try some too, Yuji?
Sure, why not?
Picking out a small morsel with the provided chopsticks, I drop it into my palm before tossing it into my mouth. The lingering fragrance of shiso leaves adds a nice accent to the refreshing flavor of the salt pickled vegetables. Pretty good, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. Bet it would go great with a meal.
I expect Amane would be a much harsher critic though. They take their pickled vegetables very seriously where she's from. As Amane's name leaves her mouth, Yumiko chuckles softly. Come to think of it, she wasn't nearly this comfortable taking samples of food until she started going to the supermarket with Amane on a regular basis.
Yeah, if Amane were here, she'd probably say her homemade stuff's better, and get herself into a glaring contest with the store's owner.
Right, and I think she'd actually end up winning too. As the words leave Yumiko's mouth, there's a remarkably gentle smile on her face. A few minutes later, we find ourselves in front of an establishment that certainly stands out. A weapons shop?
That's what the sign says, at least.
The sign in question is shaped like a giant shuriken. The name of the shop's written on it in large, bold brushstrokes. Inside we find piles of swords and chain sickles on the shelves, and heaps of shields lying on the floor. Behind the counter, where you usually expect to see a few t-shirts, they've hung up suits of chainmail. I guess shops of this sort are roughly comparable to weirder gift shops, where tourists sometimes buy wooden swords for inexplicable reasons. But the range and realism of the weaponry on display here definitely places it in a league of its own. My assumption was that Yumiko would find an enthusiast shop like this completely uninteresting, but... Look at this, Yuji! It's a real poison needle!
Calm yourself, Yumiko. They would have shut this place down a long time ago if that thing was real.
What's this? A golden claw? Feels like it might increase your random encounter rate. Oh, someone's a gamer!
Well, that's a surprise.
Contrary to my expectations, she's bursting with enthusiasm from the moment we walk in the door. Then again, I guess she does spend a decent amount of time in the dorm playing games and browsing the internet. And she reads plenty of novels too. It isn't that surprising that she'd see an appeal to this stuff.
Besides,
Yuji, you just thought something rather rude, didn't you?
No, of course not.
Really?
Yeah, look at this, Yumiko. They've got some Western fantasy style helmets lying around over here.
Huh? Where? Fortunately, I managed to direct Yumiko's attention elsewhere, suggesting a connection between her fondness for box cutters and her interest in this shop definitely would not have been a wise decision. Ah, I see. I think Kumine-san might like this helmet, actually.
Oh?
And here? Look at this morning star. Doesn't it just scream Irisu-san?
Well, sure.
Darting happily around the shop, Yumiko picks out various pieces of battle gear and assigns them to the dorm's residents.
Figured as much.
She might want to be alone with me, but in the end, she can't quite stop thinking about her friends back in Mihama. Normally, that kind of dependence might be seen as a negative thing, but in Yumiko's case, I think it's a sign of some real progress. Just wish that she was aware of it herself. She'd probably be able to interact with them more naturally if she was. It doesn't feel like we've been strolling around the stores for that long, but the morning has already flown past. I'm halfway through suggesting that we take a break for lunch when Yumiko raises a hand to interrupt me. She proceeds to look carefully around the area for something or other.
What are you looking for?
Sorry, just a second. This looks perfect. Let's go. We turn and head in the direction Yumiko indicated. The path leads us to a small park with a warm foot bath that's open to the public. Oh! Well, that's a new thumbnail if I ever saw one. Hold on. Print screen. Whoop. There we go. All's good.
I see. So this is what you were after.
Practically the moment Yumiko places her feet in the water, she's opening up the picnic basket she brought with us and is retrieving our lunch from within. Conveniently, there's a table in front of us for food and drinks. With the warm water below us, it almost feels like I'm sitting at a traditional kotatsu. Yes, I did plan ahead for today, you know. Come on, Yuji, open wide. I think we're going to draw some attention, but Yumiko definitely won't be pleased if I leave her hanging. I hold her mouth open, allowing her to gently place a piece of fried egg inside it. While it's definitely a bit rude, memories of past disasters inspire me to choose somewhat cautiously.
It's good.
But fortunately my fears prove unfounded. The familiar taste of a traditional Japanese-style fried egg spreads pleasantly through my mouth. Really? Thank goodness. Visibly relaxing, Yumiko breathed a sigh of relief. From the looks of things, I'm willing to bet she practiced pretty intensely with Amane to make this meal possible.
Alright.
Alright, go ahead and try something else. If the fried eggs came out well, the rest of it should be fine too.
Sure, I'll do that.
Leaning forward slightly, I take a closer look at the lunch Yumiko made us. I can see why she's confident. The little trays are packed full of surprisingly high-quality side dishes. In particular, there's quite a few Kansai-style boiled up or Bansai dishes. You can definitely see her master's influence at work.
Yeah, this really is impressive. You're definitely getting... Yumiko?
As I'm savoring a piece of beef wrapped neatly in seaweed, I happen to glance over at Yumiko. She's facing my way, but I definitely don't have her attention. It looked like she's staring far off into the distance.
Hey, Yumiko?
Huh? Oh, Yuji, what's the matter? Finally realizing that I'm speaking, Yumiko hurriedly shakes her head and smiles.
That's my line. What's the matter with you all of a sudden?
It's nothing.
Really?
After meeting my gaze for a moment, Yumiko lets out a little sigh. It's just... when we're here alone like this, I feel a little restless sometimes.
Restless? Am I making you nervous somehow?
No, nothing like that. I'm not entirely sure how to put this. I like spending time with you and it makes me happy. But when we're alone like this, it feels unnatural. That's just strange, isn't it? Don't mind me really, I'm sure it'll pass. Smiling half-heartedly, she tries to downplay her feelings.
Seems like I was right on the money.
Little by little, Yumiko's friends are finding their way deeper into her heart. She may not realize it herself just yet, but on an emotional level, the change seems to be well underway. It shouldn't be too long before the truth draws on her.
Yeah, I think you'll be getting past that soon enough.
Huh? As I pat her on the head, Yumiko looks at me with bewilderment in her eyes. After all the time she spent rejecting any kind of contact with the others, she's finally trying to find her way back into a social circle of sorts. That's no less worthy of celebration than the victory which brought peace to our lives. We certainly did a lot of walking today, didn't we?
Yeah, we've been wandering around ever since this morning. Don't think there's many places we haven't seen by now.
Even after our lunch, we ended up spending nearly half a day sightseeing around the area. Among other things, we visited historic ruins at the top of a nearby hill and stopped by a viewing platform from which Mount Fuji is visible. It might have been boring without each other's company, but Yumiko seemed to enjoy the experience. So, what should we do now?
Well, I've made reservation at an inn, of course.
My answer's delivered casually enough, but for some reason it prompts my girlfriend to avert her eyes bashfully.
Sorry, why are you getting all shy about that?
Because, you know. Her voice barely above a whisper, Yumiko hesitantly continues. I know it's obvious, but we're going to be spending the night together.
This girl, I swear.
It hasn't been that long since she threw herself at me in a bunny girl suit. Now she's going all pure and innocent? Is she deliberately messing with me? Is there something wrong with her memory? How many times have I fallen for that look she's got on her face right now?
Yumiko?
Yes? Yeah! Putting Yumiko into my arms, I bring my mouth to her ear. She needs to hear every word of this.
Tonight, I'll show you a whole new world.
Yuji?
You don't fight fair, woman. No matter how much experience you get, you always act like it's your first time. I never seem to get the upper hand. But this time, I'm going to make damn sure you can't forget about me. That's all I wanted to say. Let's get going, shall we?
From all appearances, Yumiko has been struck by a sudden fever. Her eyes are glassy and unfocused. I end up having to practically carry her up the hill to our inn. The place we're staying at tonight is situated at a nice high location, and the view from our room is spectacular. Dinner was fairly simple, nothing too extravagant, but well worth the money I spent on it. Of course, even if it hadn't lived up to expectations, I doubt Yumiko would have cared much in her current state. Apparently my little declaration earlier had something of an effect. Her head's been up in the clouds all evening, and there's a constant flush in her cheeks.
Want to get in the bath, Yumiko?
Okay. Without the slightest resistance, she begins removing her yukata. One of the main selling points of this inn is the family-sized bath that comes with every room. The privacy that offers was part of the reason I chose this place. But looking at Yumiko's current condition, I'm doubly thankful for their system. When the girl's in heat like this, I wouldn't want to leave her alone anywhere, not even the bath.
Maybe I went a little overboard earlier.
Well, that should be safe, but just in case, I'm going to blur out the lowest, maybe 1-2% of the screen. As we enter the bath together, Yumiko slowly drifts closer to me.
Honestly,
why do you have to say something like that? Somewhat belatedly, she murmurs a complaint about my comment. Because of what you told me earlier, I barely even noticed the food or the scenery.
Seemed that way, yeah.
You've been the only thing on my mind this entire time. A gentle breeze clears the steam between us. In the faint light of the outdoor bath, Yumiko's body comes into view. Oh, the music stopped.
Yumiko?
I stroke her cheek. She reacts with a small ticklish sound. That should also be safe as well. A moment later, I pull her close and press my lips to hers. Yuji. Normally, Yumiko blushes and averts her eyes after every kiss, but this time she gazes steadily up at me. Oh, look at that smile! Look at that smile! I love you, Yuji. In response to this sweet little whisper, Mwah. I kiss her once again. Having enjoyed a lengthy soak in the bath, the two of us head out for a night stroll on the beach. There's a large swimming spot not far from here, so the area immediately next to our inn is surprisingly quiet. At a glance, there doesn't seem to be anyone else out on the sand. The night's still young, but there's no one around.
Well, the shops all seem to close up pretty early here. Without any entertainment, there is not much reason to go out.
The night sky is clear except for the pale crescent moon and a few thin wisps of cloud. Apart from boisterous chorus of chirping insects, the world seems to have fallen completely silent. The stars are so beautiful, though.
The stars, huh?
Following Yumiko's example, I crane my neck back a little. The black expanse above us is full of countless twinkling lights. The air is clean enough in Mishima Cape, but the stars in Nishishu feel so close that I'm tempted to reach up and touch them.
Yeah, they're beautiful, all right.
Aren't they? As Yumiko smiles gently, I move to her side and we proceed to stroll slowly along the beach. There's something distinctly calm and mature about the look on her face. Makes for quite the contrast with the way she behaved this afternoon. A few hours ago she was grinning in childish delight as we walked arm in arm. A little later she was happily stuffing her face full of steamed buns. And not too long after that, her eyes were sparkling as we looked around the odd souvenir shop. Practically every hour, I got to see a totally new expression. I guess little discoveries like that are one of the special privileges that comes with being her boyfriend. After a while, I realized Yumiko smiling to herself as we walk. Seeing that, I find myself hoping that she's thinking something as savvy as I am. Guess I'm starting to get used to this whole boyfriend deal. Yuji?
Yeah?
I'm still an inexperienced person. There isn't much I'm good for.
Yumiko?
I'm terrible at cleaning. I make mistakes in the kitchen. Sometimes I get carried away and cause you all sorts of headaches. That's just how I am right now. But it's also the reason I want to improve myself. And today, I realize that all over again.
I see.
In the face of Yumiko's earnest confession, I offer only the simplest of responses. I'm very glad I got the chance to come here with you, Yuji.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same way.
Following my example, Yumiko replies only briefly. We don't need to say anything more to convey our feelings. There's something very satisfying about that. I had a lot of fun today, you know. It made me happy that you took my wish so seriously, and I know you worked hard to make this day possible. So, thank you, Yuji. Right now, Yumiko can express her gratitude simply and naturally. That might not sound like much, but it's clear proof of how much she's changed.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
Nobody wants your apologies. Try gratitude instead. I spoke those words to Yumiko on an airplane, what feels like a lifetime ago, and now she's living by them. More than anything else, that makes me happy. Yeah. Yumiko nods firmly to herself. Despite my best efforts, I can't suppress a mildly wicked smirk.
That said, it's a little too early to be thanking me.
What do you mean? Ignoring Yumiko's question, I glance down at my wristwatch.
It's about time. Look up at the sky, Yumiko.
The sky? Craning her neck back, Yumiko stares upward. Apart from the moon and the twinkling stars, the sky above us is dark and empty. But suddenly, with a dramatic boom, it's filled with light. What? Red, blue, yellow, bursts of brilliant colors spread across the black canvas of the sky, then scatter and fade. One after another, the sounds of explosions fill the air. More and more lights rise up and bloom in darkness, their colors blending together. We're not far from the place where they're being launched. Although the quantity of the fireworks is relatively modest, the sheer size and power is almost overwhelming. It's so beautiful. In the light of the fireworks, Yumiko's white skin is dyed fantastic shades of red and blue. Captivated by the constant barrage of light and sound, she stares fixedly at the spectacle unfolding before us. Ever since she was very young, Yumiko's dreamed of seeing a fireworks show up close. Her face is filled with the innocent wonder of a child seeing magic performed for the very first time. Did you know this was going to happen?
Yep.
I'm so happy. So, you remembered what I said? Not long ago, Yumiko told me about the small wish she carried with her since childhood. Now that it's been granted, if a bit belatedly, the smile on her face speaks of both loneliness and relief. Is she thinking of the isolated girl she used to be, or savoring the happiness she's found in the present? Only Yumiko could say for sure, but whatever the case may be, I think she's put another piece of emotional baggage behind her for good. I didn't know they were holding a fireworks display today.
Of course not. This is a private show for us, after all.
What do you mean?
I mean exactly what I said. We made the necessary preparations and we set off these fireworks. Simple as that.
Wait, what? Simple as that? I don't understand. Aren't fireworks like this incredibly expensive?
Yeah, of course. Despite my casual response, Yumiko watches the colors burst across the sky with an expression of growing dismay.
You must have spent far too much money on this.
If the cash was coming out of my wallet, I'd be inclined to agree with you.
Huh?
Remember what Qa'Rajh said about the school's leftover money?
Yes, she told everyone to think of ways that we could... Halfway through a sentence, Yumiko's eyes go wide with shock. Wait, you don't mean...
That's right. We all agreed to spend it on this fireworks display for you.
Huh? But that money was for everyone.
And everyone decided that this was the best possible use for it.
They did?
Yumiko looks down with guilt in her eyes.
I don't deserve that.
Why not?
Really, just think about it. The only reason I made it back to the academy is because everyone helped us. And they are all taking the time to tutor me at my request, but I lose my temper with them every single time they tease me. I haven't done a single thing to repay them, you know? And now this, on top of everything else, I feel like I owe them an apology.
No apologies, Yumiko. Just as Yumiko is about to fall back on one of her bad habits, I gently intercede. If you got the energy to spend on feeling guilty, then use it to show your gratitude.
My gratitude?
After a moment of thought, Yumiko nods empathetically.
Yes, you're right. I'll have to thank them.
One after another, the colorful fireworks light up the night sky. For a while, we simply watch in entranced silence.
They're so beautiful. I wish everyone was here to see them.
Still staring up at the sky, Yumiko murmurs a few heartfelt words. What? Don't like being alone with me?
No, that's not it. I love being with you, but I suppose it's not really the only thing I wanted.
Oh?
I want to learn more about cooking from Amani. I want to clean the courtyard in a silly maid outfit. How can I put this? I want to run around making a fuss, to laugh and shout a little. It's true that I wanted more time alone with you, but to tell the truth, I think the time we all spend together is what matters most. As the words leave her mouth, she offers me the brightest smile of the day. Now that she's sorted all that out, I suppose there's no longer any reason to hide the truth. Well, everyone, you heard the lady. Huh?
Once I give the signal, a number of familiar faces emerge from the thicket behind us.
Come on, Oni-chan, aren't you spoiling the surprise a little too early?
You think? Well, like this was the perfect moment to me.
No, you really should have gotten her even more worked up. A grand entrance would have been far more effective if she was already in tears.
My bad.
Wait. Have you all been there the entire time?
Yep, it isn't every day you get to put on a fireworks show, right? Of course we'd all watch it together. Too bad you did totally botch the timing.
The actual plan had us popping up a bit later, you know. You usually let the cat out of the bag way too quickly. Hope he's not this premature in bed.
Look, people. Even putting aside Samantha's vulgar attempt at a joke, I don't think I really deserve this level of criticism. Guess I'll write it off as a bit of jealousy over us coming out here alone.
Well, there you have it. Sorry, Yumiko, we sort of tagged along. Hope you're not too mad.
Rather than answering Amane, Yumiko hangs her head in silence.
Uh-oh, is it just me or is Yumiko actually super pissed? Hold on, this isn't my fault, okay? I'm the one who came up with the idea. Wait, no, that's not what I meant!
Michiru-sama, please calm yourself.
Sorry, Yumiko. Are you mad for real? Just as our classmates are starting to panic, Yumiko suddenly looks up at them.
Thank you, everyone.
And with a truly vibrant smile on her face, she expresses her gratitude.
Eek, I'm so...
Huh?
Huh? You weren't angry after all?
Why would I be? There's nothing to be angry about, is there?
Well, we sort of intruded on your private time, right? Yumiko shakes her head slowly.
It's true that I wanted more time alone with Yuji, and at first it did make me very happy, but I realized a daily life like mine isn't the sort of problem anyone would be lucky to have.
Little by little, Yumiko's come to understand the nature of her situation, and now she's finally able to express it in her own words.
So, thank you everyone. I've been happy for quite some time already. Thanks to all of you. For a long moment, everyone just stares at Yumiko in shock. But just as the silence is beginning to grow slightly uncomfortable...
I can't take any more of this.
A certain blonde predictably feels the need to explode. Matsushima-san? As concern spreads across Yumiko's face, Michiru jabs a finger empathetically in her direction.
Look, Yumiko, when you're gonna unleash the Dare Blast that powerful, you need to build up to it. That was way too sudden. I thought I was gonna die.
Yumiko's thank you really does pack a punch, doesn't it? Yeah, I must admit I very nearly fainted.
Damn it, this Dare stuff ain't nothing to mess with. Your standard little sister character don't stand a chance.
Faced with an unexpected chorus of acclaim, Yumiko's left quite obviously perplexed. Huh? That isn't a bad thing, right?
Of course not, it's super good. You're way too talented, okay? You ought to be more grateful for your gifts.
Oh, okay.
And for the record, you've done a lot for us too.
Matsushima-san?
I didn't say anything!
Apparently looking to draw attention away from her remark, Michiru walks over and pushes Yumiko in my direction.
Alright, you two probably didn't even take a picture together, did you? I guess I'll help you out. Go on, light up.
Come to think of it, we didn't take a single photo, did we?
Now that you mention it, Michiru's not usually so open about her thoughtfulness. Something about this bothers me slightly, but I'm still grateful. Then again, when my instinct starts nagging me like this, they often end up proving accurate in the long run.
Give me your phone, Magna. Yours has the best camera, right?
Not waiting for a response, Michiru snatches the cell phone in question out of Magna's hand.
That's fine with me, Chiro, but you gotta put it in the right mode first. Okay then, line up you two.
The moment Michiru speaks these words, I realize the vague uneasiness inside me is rapidly transforming into a clear premonition of impending disaster. Makina's cell phone isn't just capable of taking photos. Right, it's got another function, the one she used to capture Yumiko's foolishness. The memory of an earnest "Welcome home, Yuji, Pyong!" echoes through my mind, and in that very same instant. I love you, Yuji. Huh? Her face frozen in a smile, Yumiko stops moving entirely. For a moment, no one's quite sure what's happened.
Whoops, press the play button.
Oh no. Makina hurriedly snatches the cell phone away. Amanda presses a palm to her forehead. Michiru's face stiffens with fear, and Sachi goes completely expressionless. Given these reactions and the sound that just emerged from that phone, there's only one possible explanation.
Please don't tell me.
Taking a step forward, I heave a small sigh, then ask the obvious question.
Were you people spying on us?
No. What are you saying, Yuji? Of course we wouldn't do something so terribly unethical, would we, Makina-san? Chiro, I think you're better off giving up. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? Back me up here for crying out loud. This way, you want me to look at Yumiko?
Oh no. I do believe it's already too late. Ah, man. Judging from the obvious tension in her shoulders, Yumiko's reached the same conclusion as me. She is visibly seething with rage.
Yumiko, calm down. Just calm down.
Ignoring Michiru completely, Yumiko slowly reaches into her breast pocket. You know, I spotted an old friend of mine in a convenience store recently. As the words leave her mouth, she sways menacingly forward. Well, it's just a piece of stationery, really. Never thought I'd need it again, but I bought it anyway. Silly of me, right? Her voice, at first oddly soft and calm, slowly grows more and more intense. And finally, she pulls a hand out of her pocket along with her old friend. But right now I am deeply grateful for my own foolishness.
Don't move a muscle, I'm going to cut every last one of you into a billion pieces! Hold on, Michiru! Hold on, Yumiko, isn't your violent side just a thing of the past now?
Oh, it will be, and so will all of you!
Yumi-chan's pissed, like hella pissed for real!
Oh my, I do believe we won't be getting out of this one unscathed, everyone.
Yeah, have mercy!
So much for that nice sentimental mood we had going there. Even Yumiko's like, yeah, I knew that was coming. It's turned into somewhat of a slapstick farce instead.
Guess a simple happy ending was too much to expect from these people.
Our classmates flee in all directions, shrieking at the top of their lungs. Yumiko pursues them like a vengeful god. Hold it right there, Michiru, Makina, Sachi, and you, Amane. Sorry, Yumiko, I'm sorry. It was a scheme of the moment thing. Just so you're aware, Michiru-sama, it really should be spur of the moment. Look, who cares? Somebody get on their knees and beg for forgiveness. Yumi-chan's too angry for that. We gotta buy some time first. Don't you dare think the passage of time will solve this. I'll chase you straight into the future. Given all the violent threats she's currently making, I suppose Yumiko's retracted her sweet comments from earlier. Still.
Nice to see they've gotten closer at least.
Even as she chases her classmates around, Yumiko's calling them all by their first names. When things calm down a little, I'll have to point that out. Should be a good way to help them make up. Watching my girlfriend and her classmates make a public nuisance of themselves, I quietly pray that we got many more days like this one in store. Up Yumiko's branch, so to say, or scenario if you want. Next up is Amane, as we will be taking them in this direction, in this order that they are here. So it's not exactly the same as if you take the fruit of Grisaia routes and essentially just flip them on their head. But that is what we will be doing, but we will be doing that in the next episode. So until then, take care.